I feel like I'm at a game. Oh my gosh. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we held at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
I think it was lip reading with Scotty because I think Scotty is still muted. Unless I'm muted.
My camera just froze.
Oh, man.
Criminy crickets.
Talk about a Sunday.
Yeah.
We have Scotty muted. Scotty, we can't hear a word you're saying. You're muted. Beer Baron's frozen. I am. All right. So
I'm
happy
here, dude. I can
Devil's
talk.
Sunday. Yeah, you can talk, but you're frozen. Happy Devil's Sunday from everyone here at the Let's Go Devils podcast, brought to you by Primetime Radio. Find us all on Twitch, YouTube. You can tell I'm not the pitch man. Facebook, everything. So,
am I back?
All right.
Hey.
You are now back. All right.
All right, there we go.
I wonder if I should try to sign off and sign back on. My camera
man.
is not on anymore.
Live
right,
trouble.
I'm gonna try that.
All right. So
I'll
do
be
that,
right back.
and we'll continue to talk here. So, Scotty, you have a microphone now. Hey.
There we go.
Hey, there he is.
There we go.
Fresh.
Man. So anyway, how is everybody doing now that all three of us are here and present and accounted for? Finally, we can hear, we can see, we can move. Yeah, it's a Sunday. You can tell it's. I don't know. Is it a full moon? Because it kind of feels like this probably should be that excuse.
If it's not a full moon, it's. That's always an excuse, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I'm enjoying some Allagash White.
Nice.
I missed your smiling faces last week, but I had a nice little dinner with the missus for our anniversary, and that was nice.
There we go.
Happy anniversary.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks. Yeah. But
Nikki's such a lucky lady.
Yeah.
We went over all the reasons.
So many things I could
lucky
say.
Lady.
Huh?
We went over all the reasons last week. Don't worry.
No, thanks, you
Yeah,
guys. I thought the show was called Anniversary Show, and I was like, oh, I wonder how all the wonderful things that they're probably saying about me.
We hit it on a lot of your finer qualities.
Mm-hmm.
We really drove the point home.
Thanks, dude.
Some may call it like a stake in the heart, but whatever. We just call it a point. That's all.
Yeah. We even had we even had a couple flow charts to kind of really emphasize the points that we were trying to make. We had some graphics. It was good.
Yeah. Scotty, I got to ask you a question, bro. Why do you look like you're 12 years old? What happened?
Yeah, I had a little mishap with the old...
Are you like Benjamin Button?
Yeah, apparently. Yeah, had a little mishap with the beard. I got one side really straight, and then when it comes down to it, the other side not so much, and it was just above the chin line and past the point of no return, and it was just like, you know what? Like I don't think I haven't had facial hair in like 4, 5, 6 years. I don't even remember the last time I didn't have a beard, really. But my face was not happy after I shaved. I will say that it was stinging for quite some time. It's still stinging. Like, I don't know. I hope you can't see it like on the camera because my neck is still like red and just like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Razor burned. Razor burned.
Yeah, I've been going with the beard since 2012, and I can't imagine what it would be like to actually cut it off. I have zero desire to do that.
I look worth.
Oh yeah, I didn't plan on this. I didn't plan on this. This is just
I shave it down sometimes, and then I forget that I have no chin, so that like, having a beard, having a beard kind of defines my face a little bit. So that's one of the main reasons I gave it. The funny thing is like I didn't have a full beard until I had a second child, and then all of a sudden, hair started migrating off the top of the old cabeza down the face, growing out my ears, my nose, and the rest of my face, I suppose. Not to mention my ass, but that's for another segment.
All
now
right.
we've crossed the line.
Okay.
Now we've crossed the line.
Yeah, moving on.
That's when we cross the line?
Yeah.
All right, so back to business at hand.
Right.
Yes. We are now. I'm going to do this. I'm going to take some time to do this. I'm going to find out how many days it's been since we've seen live Devils hockey. So you guys talk, and then I want to have this. I want to have this countdown going forward from here for the rest of the podcast. I meant to do this week, but the week got away from me. So you guys talk. I'm gonna do this little bit of math, which I'm terrible at. So you guys go.
Okay.
So I know you guys were probably talking about it last week, but the fact that our boy Blake Coleman is now only a win away from hoisting Lord Stanley Cup.
Pickles.
You feel great for the guy, but I mean, that was one of those trades, and I wanted to bring this up in the show this week just to kind of like a fun little topic. Name a trade that you were completely devastated by, either. I wouldn't say a trade for, because there hasn't been really any trades for where I'm like, why did the Devils do that? Like, there's been a few that were close to that, but I don't think there was any that were, I felt like, oh God, like, why did they have to bring this guy to the team? But when Pickles got traded this past year, that was probably the closest one that I can remember of just being pretty gutted by it. I was bummed. I was seriously bummed when they got rid of him, because he was a really big heart and soul, part of this team, and I was sad to see him go. So I don't know if I'm sorry to put you on the spot. I should have talked to you about this before the show to get you prepped.
No. Well, actually, I was trying to think of more, but I do remember, just because, and it ended up being a great trade for the Devils in the long run. But when it happened, I was completely devastated when they traded Randy McKay to Dallas for Langenbrunner, and was there someone else? Was Arnott? No. Where did Jason Arnott come from? Well, either way, I would just remember when Randy got traded, I was devastated because he was one of my favorite players, and I loved Randy McKay. And Randy the Rocket, man, turned into like a 20-goal scorer there at the end of his career. But I remember when I, first started watching when I was younger, and all the fights him and Peluso used to get into. Oh man, those guys hated each other too when they were on Chicago and Detroit. Oh my God, the stories of like having to separate them in the locker room, before they became like friends. Or notorious. So, and I do recall like Randy McKay and what's his name from Buffalo, just like going at it. And I don't know, I just loved Randy. I was devastated. It turned out to be a great trade, obviously.
Yeah.
Because unless I'm getting confused, I'm pretty sure that's the one that Langenbrunner came from. So,
if it's Langenbrunner came from Dallas,
That's where McKay went, right? He went with.
So I think that was
there was two people. I think there was two people.
okay,
that
so
went.
Cheryl in the Facebook group just brought up the Henrique trade, and yeah, that was a pretty gutting. Peter Sikora, that was another one that hurt real bad. Just the dismantling of the A line was gut wrenching as a Devil fan, because you were like, wow, we finally have a top flight line. And I apologize that if you look at me, I'm looking down the whole time. It's like so weird because my screen's down here, my camera is up here. So
I do the same.
I got to keep reminding to like look up at the actual camera.
Yep.
But yeah, Sikora, Henrique, Coleman, those three for sure were like, I don't know. Those were probably. I think Henrique was a super hard one, but then my hopes for Vatanen were super high.
Mm-hmm.
And then he just kept getting hurt.
Yeah.
But I was like, that one sucked. And then when he came back and had that like crazy goal where he flipped it over Vatanen's head and came in. I mean, we still won that game, but like that was just one of those ones because Henrique was a god, especially after that, beating the Rangers in 2012 in that game, 6. That was the defining moment for a lot of us as Devil fans, because you finally slayed the dragon of the Rangers. And it was redemption.
Yeah, it was redemption. It was, everything was perfect too. Doc on the call, that goal,
everything,
and the celebration too, just like jumping up on his back against the glass, like that'll just be relived over and over and over again. It's finally, it's that moment for us. We've always been on the friggin' other side of the Mato, like now we finally have Henrique. It's over. It was redemption for Devils fans.
And also kind of going with, we've spoken about jerseys and jerseys you have and regret, and that's, I want to say Henrique is absolutely up there in one of those jerseys where you can get that 10 years down the line, even though he was traded, you could still wear that Henrique jersey around the arena because of that one goal. That goal was that goal is the goal that, when they put intros together, 30 years from now, they're still going to be showing that goal against the Rangers, stuff like that. So that's really good. It's one of those things. So I've come back from my math coma. Math is not my strong suit. That's why I'm a storyteller and not a mathematician.
He's not a mathematician so much that his camera froze. Well,
all right.
Oh, there you are. Now you're back.
Oh, there it is.
Now I'm back.
That was my fault. Put a curse on you for
suspense. Yes, Matt. Every time you're about to like tell us something, it's always like the camera just freezes there for like 30 seconds.
I'm building suspense. Man. I'm building suspense. Anyway, so we're now on day number 201 without Devils hockey.
Oh my god.
Day number 201.
It's weird because my dad and I were talking the other day, and he's like, we should be getting prepped for the beginning of the season. He's like, we should be watching pregame or preseason games and
looking at cuts,
and looking at like what the final rosters are going to be like, because the start of the season is like a week or two away. Mm-hmm. It's just like, man.
Yeah, like we should all be, having secured our tickets to opening night.
Yep.
Planning we should
a
be
live podcast.
A live podcast at PJ Ryan's at the Rock. Scotty should have a flight coming east to come to the game, and we can all be together live for the first time ever in person. There's so much stuff that we should be doing, and unfortunately we're not. And they still have made no announcement about when the league's going to start. And I've said it's definitely not going to be December, but they haven't confirmed anything for January. And I still think that the league needs to start with we're all in agreement that the league needs to start with the Winter Classic, without a doubt, because that's it. But in a normal year, New Year's Day is pretty void of sports. This year might be different, however, with the fact that everything is, you have so much truncated stuff. As far as college football seasons that were canceled are now starting again. So who knows what that's going to be? Who knows when
because on New Year's Day and New Year's Eve and everything.
There are, and the NBA
nowadays.
may be starting up at a similar time. So much stuff.
Have you ever seen the Scott Foray Bowl? Actually, Scott actually has one named after him.
True.
Does he really?
Mm-hmm.
And what is this scale?
Nikki books the whole thing. Nikki books the whole thing.
Of course.
I just show up as a personality.
Mm-hmm. Special guest of honor.
Yeah, exactly. At my own bowl.
That's a good gig. That's called being talent. That's called being talent. That's what you want.
Yeah.
That's the gig you want. That's the gig you want.
Yeah, exactly.
It's kind of like being the lead singer. You don't have to carry any equipment in. You don't have to do any merch. You just kind of show up.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, that sounds real familiar. All right, so back to what we were talking about.
Miserable all the time, like listen to my sad lyrics. Relate to me on an emotional level.
It's true. So Jerry in the Facebook group says, "Do you honestly see a season starting without a vaccine?" Or he says, "Do you think it will happen without a vaccine?" And I don't know. It depends on if they try to continue this bubble, but then again, having the entire NHL do an entire season in a bubble, I don't know, man. That's asking a lot of these players. And anybody that's like, they're millionaires, man. Cool, dude. I don't care how much you're getting paid. They're still human beings, and they're going to have to be removed from their family. And it's not like they can go and party. Like they're basically going, playing hockey, eating at a restaurant that they're allowed to eat at, maybe playing a little golf, maybe doing some things that they're allowed to do within the vicinity of where they are, and then going home. And that's it, period. So...
All right, so my answer to that is yes, I can see them starting without a vaccine because Major League Baseball has done it. MLS has continued to do it. We're watching the NFL do that now. So we have examples of it working. European soccer leagues are now up and going. Are they going to have some restrictions on what they can and can't do? Yeah. Are there going to be restrictions about who can go in? Yeah, totally. Will there be fans? Probably not. Maybe a small amount. I was watching one of the I happened to turn on the one of the NFL games because the Jets were playing, and they had some fans there in Indianapolis. And it looks weird to see, like, a smattering of fans.
It is.
It almost looks like a preseason game. Now, and that's a whole other debate if you'd feel comfortable going or not. But yes, I think they can do it.
Would you guys feel comfortable? Would you guys feel comfortable going to a game?
You put enough beer in me, yeah, sure, I'll feel comfortable. But outside of that, like, realistically, no. And the reason why is because I don't trust anybody around me. Like, I know what, like, this is the old saying, like, you know where you are, you know where you've been. You don't have to worry about yourself because you can control your own fate. But God forbid you're like, hey, I'm at this game. There was a fist fight at a Browns game. All right. So there was like 30 people in the stands, and 10 of them found a way to group together and get into a fist fight. So am I saying that's what I'm? But that's not what I'm saying.
About hockey,
I understood.
Hockey, not football. Not football.
Like, there's never fights in hockey arenas. But that's not my point being. My point being is the inevitable people getting out and just being like, I'm free, and getting drunk out of their mind and then just doing stupid things. So not worried about, like, going and, like, the arena not being clean enough and all that kind of crap, but worrying about other people and their dumb decisions. Like some dude, like, waking up in the morning, man, I feel kind of sick, but whatever, it's game day, I'm going, I paid for these tickets. And this moron goes, and then, like,
we've all done that.
Yeah, I mean, not COVID, yes. Not COVID, yes. Like, we've all gone to work sick. We've all gone to games sick. I've been, like, running a high-ass fever, and I'm like, dude, I got tickets that I paid, like, $100 for. Hell yeah, I'm going. So, I mean,
nowadays, if you have a fever, you're not getting in anywhere because they'll be doing, fever checks on. Yeah, so. I'll be honest. I'm watching these stuff. I feel I would, if there was an opportunity, I would go to a game. First off, I think it's awesome that I'm not a big fan of people in general. So the fact that I can have I can actually have my little section where there's not a lot of people around me. I'm like, yeah, that looks great.
Stretch yourself out.
Yeah, and it reminds me of, like, when you have one of those Blizzard games where there's only like 6,000 people in the stands or something like that, like, instead of everyone being all crowded, you guys spread out. And as long as you're smart, wear your mask and, like, just, bring a friggin', like wipes, put them in your pocket. Like, that's what I do when I go out places. Like, I'm living in LA, like I'm near Hollywood. It's not the cleanest of areas, So
Really?
Yeah, when I go to the grocery store, I bring wipes with me, man. There is a homeless problem out here, but I bring wipes with me because I'm going to be smart, like just do the same thing. It's like if you got to travel, people that travel, they wipe everything down, if they're going in. I think that'll be the big thing, though. Like you said, like Shorts Guy said, I think they'll start a season like 100%. Like some guys will be given the option, if there is no vaccine yet, they'll be given the option if they want to opt out. And if they don't want to opt out, then, they're going to have to be smart. They're going to get tested, rigorously. And because someone on the Falcons, I think, didn't
and
pass,
they still played. Yeah, one of their cornerbacks.
Yeah.
One of their cornerbacks tested positive on Thursday, and they still had a game tonight.
As long as they keep out of the, Miami nightclubs with the Marlins and whoever else, I mean.
You're getting a steak dinner. That's why the only reason we were there. We're getting a steak dinner.
Yeah.
That's what.
But I mean, like, these guys are going to be smart. I mean, like, if you look at the NHL, what they did with their bubble system, I mean, their record is really, really good. They didn't have one single positive test for, weeks and weeks here, and these guys played their hearts out without the fans. It didn't matter to them, man. They were focused on the ice. There was no drop in, product or anything like that. So if there's no fans, like, hey, maybe in New Jersey, where it's a little bit more crowded, maybe we can't have fans in the arena, but maybe somewhere else where it's not, as dense a population, maybe they can have a smattering of fans, 20% or something like that. And that would be cool,
Yeah.
I mean, if you look at the Florida teams, Florida has no stopping of anything anyway. So the Florida teams would probably be able to, have
the full capacity.
You look at the Dolphins games and the Jaguar games. I'm a big nerd and I like wrestling. AEW runs their events because the Khan is the owner of the federation, and they run it right there from Daly's place, which is like the amphitheater attached to the Jaguar Stadium. So they have fans, like 20% every week for their shows. So some places are going to have fans, some places aren't.
Yeah. Like I caught some of the F1 race today in Russia, and it seemed like the stands were almost at capacity.
Well, they have a vaccine. Russia already has a vaccine.
There might be some other issues going on over there. So yeah,
it's just
it's just so funny.
But it looked odd. It just looked odd seeing people, which kind of sucks that like all of a sudden that looks odd to us. Like I could, Scotty, like you were talking about, I could do. Going to a Devils game and have the same. Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, and I'm sure the Bucks games would have looked the same if they didn't get what's his name to come down. Anyway, like a hockey game, I can handle going to and just kind of having space. Other types of sporting events, like a soccer game, I don't think I could do not being around people, just because of the nature of where I stand.
What is it? Is it like a limit of 4 or 6 you could go with?
Well, no. New Jersey officially came out and said that there would be no attendance at any sporting event. So some places are 25% of capacity, which in a 70,000 seat arena isn't a lot. Because was it Kansas City for the home opener? I think they were at they're normally like 70,000, and they only had like 17,000 or something like that.
Yeah, they had essentially like an entire hockey arena. But their theory behind that is you could spread everybody out, and then they could boo when everybody wants to be united. So,
yes.
And Michael Hay here says, "I'm a season ticket holder. Let's do it at 25 to 50% capacity." I don't know about 50. I would say like 30 and under. If it gets to 50, that's when I would start maybe feeling a little like, this is too many.
It's getting crowded.
Right now,
weave in and out of the corridor.
I'm just going to come out and say it. This may be one of the only times. This may be the only time that we're ever grateful that no one goes to. I don't want to say no one, but that a lot of people don't go to Devils games, because I hate to say it, but we all know it. You know, a lot of people don't go, and there's a lot of empty seats all the time. So I think, unfortunately, but at the same time, if it gets us in the arena, I think that we would have a good shot at getting a decent crowd, even though we don't normally have a ton. But I mean, I was talking to a season ticket rep. They were supposed to have a plan by September 18th. And that came and went, and they said that they have moved that potential plan date for next season to November because they don't have a plan yet.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's absolutely no plan. And when I spoke to the rep originally in the summer, you know, they said that they were only going to allow. At first, there was only